I've spoken to over these years.
But you have written this questionnaire yourself?
Yes.
That's interesting.
I have written it myself. It is something that actually it would be wrong to say that it's not evolved. The questionnaire used to be very simple, straightforward before, and then after arguments, after discussions or debates that one would have with entrepreneurs, because they're all very personally vested in their business, I've evolved into making them a little nicer. This is the thing that I can take full ownership about. But the rest of the journey with ItsHerWay, obviously it's been so many other involvements.
What are the pain points that people have that you solve? What are the main pain points, especially in this region? Because I've noticed that here a lot of women are on, housewife visas, but they want to start their own little businesses, maybe at home, or they have, which would finally grow, or some would die down. But there's a lot of paperwork. There's a lot of, I know that even getting a current account has been a journey for me. As for my company, considering I had all the paperwork. So it's been a journey. But for you, for them, it's, I guess, even a bigger struggle. So how have you handled that?
So we have a structure, and we have an onboarding, journey for them. So at every given stage, we ask questions, we get information, and we then navigate them through those pit stops, so to speak. The first year for a business entrepreneur with ItsHerWay, she does not even need a business license in the first year. 12 months we give her to navigate herself. She's got a few products with her. She wants to test the market. As we say in the startup world, right, the POC, the proof of concept, it takes about 8 to 12 months for a product to get good enough to be scaled and go to market in a way. So those 12 months are something that we give them as a launch pad, and then we take them through those other steps. While they're learning to build their product, we also help them build those steps that they would require, or those information pieces they would require to then register their business properly.
So out of these 400 women that you...
No, 4,000.
Sorry, 4,000 women that you, mentor and have under your umbrella, sorry to say, but all can't be good, right?
No.
And the quality of their products is also... everyone's quality maybe does not match up to the standard. And I know it's a very negative question, but it's an important question. I want to know how you handle telling them that, listen, you know what, I'm sorry, but this is not going to work. That's a very, very, like you said, it's almost like a miscarriage for somebody. So how do you handle something like that? It's a very tough place, because I know in my profession, to tell an artist that you're not good enough or you need more it's heartbreaking.
It is. However, it's not something that we put ourselves in a place of authority to tell them you're good enough or not. We flip it on the other side and we ask them questions. And we ask them questions where they land into the answers of, yes, I need to work this again, I need to go back to the drawing board, or I need to look at it differently, or I need to pivot now. I can't be running the same race, because it is a never-ending loop of not successful achievements, or no achievements rather. So that is where we come in. We don't really tell them you're good enough or not. Instead, we tell them this is something which is a constructive series of questions or series of, I would say, the interactions that they have with us. We make them understand that that point in time you need to pivot, or you need to say thank you very much, goodbye.
But you need to maintain some quality control with your brand too.
So we do. And we have 3 categories of brands, personas of brands that we onboard. And we call them the starters, the hustlers, and the she-bosses. So the starters are the ones who are in 0 to 18 months of their business journey. That's kind of the category, because they have common challenges, common journeys. The hustlers are the ones who are either doing this for 2 years plus, doing it as a side hustle for years. And the she bosses are the ones who have gone through the first 2 stages and are now very, very sure of their product/service and very, very sure of what they want to do. So this is kind of the 3 personas that help us navigate. Quality control does not happen in the first stage, but it does automatically happen in the second and the third stage for an entrepreneur. But we don't really do a QC in the first stage. We let them evolve, and that's very, very important for a business owner to evolve on her own, rather than anybody telling her to evolve or her to change. Because as we know, we've started, right? We were so defensive. We were so rigid. We didn't want feedback in the first 18 months of what we want to do. Even if someone said something which would make sense, we would really, really not want to listen to them, right?
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard.
So that is the first 18 months. You have to be more, one has to be more welcoming as a community that we run in those 18 months, and let them just go through that space. It's like a child, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like
we keep coming back to that, but I guess we are women, and for us, that's the best analogy that we can give. But how do women take it?
Take what?
Like their journey fizzling out. Isn't that very demotivating? So do you provide any kind of moral support for that?
So it doesn't, when you've come up with the answer on your own, it's not as demotivating as someone telling you, because you've come up with the answer on your own. So you are empowered, or rather no one has taken that power from you of telling you that you're a failure. You've realized that you're a failure, or you failed at this particular venture. And then you decide how to take those next steps. But if someone has told you, listen, you're failing, you're not going to be willing to listen to that, right?
Not at all.
Exactly.
Not at all.
Exactly.
I mean, that would, and especially, again, I say women, but especially women who already are struggling, they've taken out a lot of courage to come and reach this stage where they've come up with something which they want to do, and most of the times it's like, kind of trying to balance their lives and their homes and everything, and then they've come up with something. So then it is very heartbreaking,
It is. And it is. Since we are talking about this here, I would really urge all the people who are in the support network of every entrepreneur who is in those first 18 months of a business journey to understand that any feedback you give is not going to be listened, not going to be heard in the right way, and nor is it going to be adapted in the right way. It will come with a lot of other baggage. So don't impose, propose. Propose feedback. Don't impose. This is something that is very constructive, and this is kind of the ethos that we develop in the first, for new entrepreneurs, for the starters that we onboard. We propose, and if they have the time, if they have the flexibility, if they have the bandwidth in their personal lives and everything that they have to do and balance, then they'll take it up. But at least we've proposed, and they know that we are there whenever they are ready to take those constructive steps ahead.
So your work obviously is very purpose driven, and it comes from a very emotional space. So along with giving them so much support in their businesses, and you've been through a journey yourself where you've had people help you, and that's been your purpose to start ItsHerWay. So how is that that you give that to people? Do you do mentorship? Do you do a one-on-one? Do you have people who come? So how do you emotionally support them?
So we have 5 pillars of support at ItsHerWay: commerce, community, collaborations, careers, and capital. Now, around all of these pillars, there is a mentoring aspect, there is an emotional support aspect, but we don't call it emotional support, right? But there is a guidance aspect. We actually take a lot of these services or elements, we take a lot of help from our entrepreneurs and the directory of entrepreneurs and the members that we have to bring them on board pair them up with the newer entrepreneurs, pair the experienced entrepreneurs up with the newer entrepreneurs, and help them become accountability partners and help them navigate those things. So every pillar of support has these two underlying layers, because you do need a mentor, you do need a sounding board, and also you need someone who can help you navigate your mindset through this journey as well.
And also, I know you as a personal friend, and I've known you for very long. So, of course, I know certain emotional aspects of your life and certain stories of your life. And if I may bring up one of them, I know that you struggled in completing your education and had to leave it halfway due to family challenges. And can you talk a bit more about that, and how has that inspired It's Her Way, and how has it been a driving force in your life?
So, thank you for bringing that up. I don't think a lot of people know about this, but my trip to Dubai actually happened because my father had moved here right at the brink of the recession in 2008, 2009. And I said I landed in Dubai from the UK. And I did land in Dubai from the UK. My father was here for a few months before that. And I came directly from the UK, not completing my master's that I had gone there to pursue. I was there for 4 days in London, settled in, had a house, had everything, had my best friend as my roommate from college. We did college together. And recession had hit very badly for my family. Just a few months before I moved to London, my parents lost a significant amount, to say the least, a significant amount of their money, their savings, everything in the stock market. And I had just graduated from college in Bombay. And the fees and everything for my UK college were not paid yet, but they were supposed to be paid. A lot of the expenses had to be done. They never let me feel that, I can't do it anymore because they have no money anymore. They let me go. And towards the end of end of my stint in Bombay, when I was about to leave to UK, I realized, or I found out, that they had borrowed money. My mom had borrowed money. My dad had borrowed money, taken a loan, and a lot of other things. At that point, which was something that was not sitting well with me, especially when my mom had borrowed money from some people that I didn't want her to borrow money from. I still went on. I still went to UK. My best friend was waiting for me. She went a month earlier than me, 2 weeks earlier than me approximately. She settled us in and everything, and I went. When I landed there, I had to shop for a few necessities. Everything else we brought from India. Boots were one of the necessities. So we were shopping one day at Oxford Street, and Primark is where I went in, bought a pair of shoes, boots from there. Those boots, when I paid at the cash counter the money, I just had this very, very overwhelming feeling of a realization that these boots are costing me something around 8,000 rupees back in the day. And I just started tearing up, and I was really, really concerned about, oh my God, this is 8,000 rupees. Every single piece of food or bread or just, 1 pound sushi that I'm eating in London from Tesco is going out from the money that my parents have borrowed. And they have put themselves in such a situation that for me to be comfortable. And I wouldn't have been able to be, where I am if they wouldn't have done that. So those feelings, those emotions really, really bothered me. So while I bought the shoes, I still have those shoes, by the way, so many years later, just as a memento. While I bought those shoes, after I bought those shoes, I stepped out and I just gave a call to my mother. And I said, Mom, I just bought 8,000 rupees worth of shoes. And that isn't a big number, but at that point it felt so heavy. It was just unimaginably heavy. Started crying to her and said, Mom, I don't think I can do this. I don't want to do this right now because you all have borrowed money from people that I don't want you to borrow money from. and I don't want you to do this for me. I want you to pay them back as much as you can, and I want to come back. And at that point, Dad had, because we had to still survive and stuff, Dad had got a job in Sharjah in UAE, and he had just moved to Dubai. I said to Mom, I'm going to go to Dubai. I'll live with Dad. I've graduated from college. I'll start working, and then I'll do my MBA and my master's. And she said, are you sure about this? Do you think you want to do this? My luck was, Shivani, I had not paid my tuition for the first year, for the first semester yet. And I was just about to transfer it because my orientation was a few days later. So there I was standing on Oxford Street. I decided I'm going to come back. My best friend did not speak to me for a year after that because but she understood eventually. She understood eventually, and bless her for understanding and still loving me for whatever, whatever I was. Yeah, but sorry, Sneha, no, sorry for leaving you alone and letting you go. But I had to do that. I really did. They paid the money back faster than, what happened. My dad, when I landed here, he gave me a big hug and he said, why did you have to do this? Your father's still alive, And I'm the only child, so a lot of this daddy's girl thing still is there. So when I came back, in a few months, I was lucky to find a job, and my career took off really well. And I managed to do my MBA from a UK university from Dubai. And I did that with my work.
So you think do you regret it?
Regret what?
Coming back?
No way. Not in a million years. This is my pride and glory in a way. I really, some of these challenges that...
It is a great thing to do because not many children understand their parents' pain and they just take it for granted that it's their responsibility. And I think you changed your poison into medicine, where there was the hardships and you took them on head on, and then you kind of just made a whole purpose out of it and created ItsHerWay. So I think that's an amazing thing that you did, and I'm sure your parents were super proud of you for doing that.
They were really,
and I think today they must be even more proud that you're sitting here with and helping so many women get independent, get more purpose with their life, like you say. And purpose is a very strong word in itself. If you don't have a purpose in life, you don't move forward.
Yeah, and I'm actually very, very fortunate. A few of my friends make this joke about me that, you found your, so to speak, what's the word? The word is your passion project or your CSR project way too early in your life. That you've, not wanted to explore more career paths or more success in your corporate world and your corporate life. But I feel it is when you get it right, when you get that calling, when you get that purpose, you should act on it. And when you act on it, you will see a path. It's not that we're not making money.
Exactly. That's what, if you like something you do and you're passionate about it, it's a struggle, I agree. People who are more practical, I think sometimes have less of a struggle, but people who are passionate and driven by, their life experiences, their struggle is more. But eventually it pays off. Eventually today, I must say that when I joined ItsHerWay and when you told me you're starting this thing, and I think at that time you were also going to get funding from another company.
Yeah, that another one, right? That's another challenge. So right before COVID or 2019, we won a few awards and we were recognized for one of the most admired startups, women-owned startups in the region, in the Middle East. And at that point, we did get funding on paper, and I'll tell you why. We got funding on paper in 2020. Everything was negotiated in 2019. 2020 is when we were due to get funding and go into Saudi and regionally. COVID hit.
Yes.
The lovely COVID, the
lovely
pandemic.
COVID.
And the person, or it was a private investment fund, so a family office. The person who was going to invest in our company and who was going to do everything with us passed away, unfortunately.
Oh.
And
of COVID?
Yes.
Oh, how unfortunate.
They passed away, and the family was very distraught. And some of the decisions that they made, one of which was not to continue or go forward with the ItsHerWay funding at that point. I'm still close to the family. I still talk to them. It's a different relationship now, but at that point, it was like a blow, and that blow did so many things. It cascaded onto so many other things. But what it did for ItsHerWay as a venture and the platform, it made it so much more resilient. It made it so much more stronger, because then you had to scramble with things. You had to scramble with zero cash flow from $1 million that was coming into your account in the next week, right? And then we survived. Bootstrapped, and made it where we are now. It took a long time for us to come back in green. But today, I think, again, as one of my life experiences that I would say I take my challenges and turn them around into different opportunities. And I'm fortunate to have had those opportunities to be able to navigate that. I think right now, if someone asks me, do you want funding? I will say no. I want someone. I want someone who will be my co-founder, and who will be someone who supports the vision, and we'll figure out the money part.
Wow. And you know what? You have come back with a bang, let me tell you, because I have experienced that when I joined ItsHerWay in 2019, I think it is, like you mentioned, at that time I was very skeptical, and I was very I don't know if my product is good enough, or actually is ItsHerWay good enough for my product, I'll be more honest. And if you can, will you give justice to it, because I was a very high-end luxury product, and I was not sure, and I was like, I don't want to be put in a housewife category, and I had all these issues, but I joined. And I kind of never took it really seriously. And I gave you stuff, I didn't give it because it was not something I took very seriously, because I didn't find it a serious enough platform at that time. And I'll be very honest with you about it. But today, as I renew my membership last month, again after 4 years, I'm very proud of it. I've been seeing so much progress. I've found the whole website so interactive, so much easier to use. Even the kind of seminars and things that you're doing, they're absolutely great. In fact, I've just recommended 3 people to join ItsHerWay last week. I think one of them has already contacted you. Yeah. And it's been a great journey, and that's why I'm even here today sitting and doing this. And you've really come a long way, and super proud of you. And I wish you all the best for your new podcast, because that's again a great start in a new journey. Thank you, Armin.
Thank you very much.